In the contour condition, just to remind you, the stimulus is still there. So if you look in the contour condition, you can see enhanced continuous activity in the circle area and suppressed activity in the background area. So what I'm trying to say that we see over here is that we actually see the circular contour popping out from the suppressed background. So this is a direct neuronal correlate of figure ground segregation. The circular contour is simply popping out from the suppressed background. And as you can see, this pattern is unique to the contour condition and does not appear in the non-contour condition. And the next thing that we did, we defined figure ground measure, which is simply the response difference between the circle area and the background area when comparing the contour and non-contour condition, and this is shown over here. So as you can see, the figure ground modulation actually it starts much earlier than when we then comparing it to the attentional process. It starts around 70 to 90 milliseconds after stimulus onset, but arrives to a maximum at much later times. And okay, so I'll wrap up quickly. So I'll skip this one, and I just want to show you that we varied the contour saliency by jittering the angle of the contour element. So this is plus minus 15 jitter, and you can see still the circular contour, but it's much more hard to perceive it. This is plus minus 25 jitter, very hard to see it, and this is the non-contour condition. And now we wanted to compute the psychrometric and neurometric curve based on the animal behavioral performance and figure ground measure. So the psychrometric curve shows the expected. As we increase the orientation jitter, the probability to detect the contour is decreasing. So zero orientation jitter means that the animal was actually seeing a contour condition, and so the probability to detect the contour is very high. But as we increase the orientation jitter, the probability to detect the contour was getting smaller and smaller. This is true for both animals. The interesting thing is that the neurometric measure, which is the figure ground measure, also behaves similarly. So it's very high for the contour condition, and it decreases with the orientation jitter. And therefore, figure ground is related to the contour, the figure ground measure is related to contour saliency and to the behavioral report of the animal. I don't have time to get into perceptual report of the animal for trials with identical stimuli yet different perceptual report. This is shown over here, but essentially the figure ground measure was correlated also with the perceptual report for constant visual stimulus input. So let me conclude fast on the figure ground part. So early times we showed activation patches that are corresponding to the contour and background individual elements. At late times we showed figure ground modulation. So it's increased activity in the contour elements, suppressed activity in the background. And this modulation was extended beyond the individual Gabor element. And this late modulation was correlated with the behavioral performance of contour saliency and animal perceptual report. And what I would like to emphasize is that it looks like we have here opposing responses in the contour and background, which may underlie perceptual grouping in V1. And for the grand summary, I think that what I would like to emphasize is that we showed over here different late modulation in V1, attentional modulation and figure ground modulation. The late modulation, however, appear with different latencies and different spatial characteristics, suggesting different neuronal mechanisms and interareal circuitry that is involved in modulation. In my eyes, the higher spatial resolution of the figure ground modulation and early onset suggests short loops of top-down influences, whereas the late onset of the spatial attention and the low spatial resolution suggest the involvement of more remote areas. And in both cases, the late modulation was tightly correlated with behavioral performance and perceptual report. So I'd like to thank again my young dot who is sitting over here, Itai Shamil, and Ariel Gilad, who is over here, who actually did the work, and thank you for your attention.